Scary telling.
I woke up to the sound of tapping on my bedroom window. At first, I thought it might be a tree branch, but the tapping continued, slowly growing louder and more insistent. My heart was pounding in my chest as I lay in bed, imagining all the possible explanations for the sound. What if it was a burglar trying to break in? Or worse, a serial killer taunting me before launching an attack? I tried to push the thoughts out of my head, telling myself that I was being silly, but the tapping only grew louder. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. I got out of bed, my legs shaking with fear, and approached the window. As I drew back the curtains, my eyes widened in horror. A pale, moon-like face was staring back at me, with bulging black eyes and a wicked grin. I recoiled in terror, stumbling backwards and knocking over a lamp. The creature spoke to me in a sickly sweet whisper. "Aren't you going to let me in? It's awfully cold out here." I shook my head, trying to gather my thoughts. No. Go away. Leave me alone." But the creature persisted, tapping on the glass with its long, bony fingers. I felt a cold sweat break out on my forehead as I watched it drool on the window, its long tongue flicking out to taste the glass. Finally, the creature floated away, leaving me alone in my room, trembling with fear. I spent the rest of the night huddled under my covers, praying that the thing would never return. The next morning, I tried to convince myself that it had all been a dream. But the memory of the creature's face and its sickly sweet voice stayed with me. I couldn't shake the feeling that it was real, that something truly terrifying was happening to me. Over the next few nights, the tapping continued, growing louder and more insistent. I tried to ignore it, but it was always there, a constant reminder of the horror that was waiting for me on the other side of the window. I started to lose sleep, my nerves frayed from the constant fear. I became more and more isolated from my friends and family, too afraid to tell anyone about what was happening to me. Finally, I knew I had to do something. I couldn't keep living like this, in constant fear of the unknown. I decided to confront the creature head-on, to see if I could figure out what it wanted from me. The next time it appeared at my window, I drew back the curtains and stared it down, my heart racing in my chest. The creature smiled its wicked grin, its black eyes glittering in the moonlight. "Who are you?" I demanded, my voice shaking with fear. The creature's voice was like honey, but there was something sinister lurking beneath its words. "I'm your friend," it said. "I just want to be close to you." I shook my head, backing away from the window. "No, you're not my friend. You're something else, something dangerous." The creature's smile grew wider, and I felt a chill run down my spine. "You're right," it said. "I'm not your friend. But I could be so much more if you let me in." I closed the curtains and stumbled back to my bed, my mind racing with fear and confusion. What did the creature want from me? And how could I ever hope to protect myself from it? The tapping at my window continued every night, but now I found myself strangely drawn to it. I couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement whenever I heard the creature's familiar tapping, and I would rush to the window to see it. I spent hours watching the creature from my bed, observing its movements and studying its strange features. Its pale, moon-like face and bulging black eyes seemed to glow in the darkness, drawing me in with their hypnotic power. As the days went by, I found myself becoming more and more obsessed with the creature. I would think about it constantly, imagining what it would be like to let it in, to be close to it in a way that no one else could. My friends and family noticed that something was wrong, but I couldn't bring myself to tell them about the creature. I was too afraid that they wouldn't believe me, or worse, that they would try to take it away from me. One night, as I lay in bed watching the creature, it spoke to me again. "Why don't you let me in?" it whispered. "We could be so happy together, just the two of us." I shook my head, trying to resist the creature's hypnotic power. "No, I can't let you in. You're dangerous, and I don't know what you want from me." The creature's expression darkened, and I felt a surge of fear. "You're making a mistake," it said. "You could have everything you ever wanted if you just let me in." But I knew that I couldn't trust the creature. Its intentions were not pure, and I couldn't risk letting it into my life. But even as I tried to push it away, I couldn't shake the feeling that I needed it, that I couldn't live without it. As the weeks went by, my obsession with the creature grew stronger. I stopped going to school and stopped seeing my friends, spending all my time watching the creature and trying to understand its strange powers. I knew that I was losing touch with reality, but I couldn't stop myself. The creature had become my world, and I would do anything to keep it close to me. One night, the creature appeared at my window again, tapping gently with its long, bony fingers. I felt a sense of excitement and fear, knowing that I was about to make a fateful decision. "Let me in," the creature whispered. "We can be together forever, just you and me." I hesitated, but the creature's voice was too seductive to resist. I slowly walked over to the window and drew back the curtains, letting the creature into my room. At first, everything seemed fine. The creature was friendly and charming, making me laugh and showing me things that I had never seen before. It was like having a secret friend, one that only I could see. But as time went on, I began to notice that there was something not quite right about the creature. It was possessive and controlling, demanding my attention at all times and never letting me out of its sight. I tried to break free from the creature's grip, but it was too strong. It would threaten me with its long, sharp teeth and its sinister voice, telling me that I would never be able to leave it. I was trapped in my own home, unable to escape from the creature's grip. It was like living in a nightmare, one that I couldn't wake up from no matter how hard I tried. As the days went by, the creature's true nature began to reveal itself. It was not the friendly companion I had thought it was, but a monster that wanted to possess me completely. I knew that I had made a terrible mistake by letting it in, but I didn't know how to get rid of it. It seemed to have a power over me that I couldn't resist, and I was terrified of what it might do if I tried to break free. In the end, I knew that I had to find a way out. I couldn't keep living like this, in constant fear of the creature's wrath. I started to make plans, looking for ways to escape from its grip and find a way back to the real world. But the creature was always watching, always waiting for me to make a mistake. It was like a shadow, always following me wherever I went. I knew that I had to be careful, that one wrong move could mean the end of everything. But even as I tried to fight back, I couldn't shake the feeling that the creature was a part of me that I needed in some twisted way that I couldn't understand. The days turned into weeks, and the weeks turned into months. I was trapped in a nightmare of my own making, with no way out and no hope for the future. But even as I struggled to break free, I knew that the creature was still there, waiting for me to make a mistake. It was like a poison, slowly seeping into my mind and destroying everything that I held dear. And in the end, I knew that I would have to confront the creature one last time to see if I could find a way to break free from its grip and find my way back to the light. I knew that I couldn't keep living like this, trapped in my own home with the creature always watching me. I had to find a way to break free from its grip and confront it head on. One night, I made my move. I waited until the creature appeared at my window, tapping with its long, bony fingers, and then I sprang into action. I grabbed a nearby lamp and smashed it against the window, shattering the glass and sending the creature flying backwards in a burst of fury. It let out a terrible roar, its black eyes glittering with rage. "What have you done?" it screamed. "You've ruined everything. but I didn't back down. I stood my ground, ready to face the creature no matter what it might do. It lunged at me with its long, sharp teeth, but I was ready. I dodged its attack and swung the lamp again, hitting it squarely in the face and sending it flying backwards once more. The creature let out a terrible shriek, its moon-like face contorted with pain and anger. "You'll pay for this," it snarled. "I'll make you regret ever crossing me." But I was no longer afraid. I knew that I had to stand up to the creature and fight back, no matter what the cost. We continued to battle for what seemed like hours, with neither of us gaining the upper hand. It was like a dance, with each move carefully calculated and each attack met with an equally strong defense. But finally, I saw my chance. The creature made a mistake, leaving itself open for just a split second, and I seized the opportunity. I lunged at it with all my strength, slamming it against the wall and pinning it there with my hands. It struggled and fought, but I held on tight, refusing to let it go. And then, suddenly, it was over. The creature let out a final scream of defeat and vanished into thin air, leaving me standing there alone in my room. I was exhausted and battered, but I felt a sense of triumph that I had never felt before. I had defeated the creature, broken free from its grip, and reclaimed my life. It was a long and difficult journey, but in the end, I had emerged victorious. And even as I looked back on the horror that had consumed me, I knew that I had learned a valuable lesson, that even the most terrifying monsters can be defeated if we have the courage to confront them head on. After the creature was defeated, I thought that my life would go back to normal. But things weren't that simple. The experience had left me shaken and traumatized, unable to trust anyone or anything. I was constantly looking over my shoulder, afraid that the creature would return to finish what it had started. My friends and family tried to help, but I couldn't bring myself to tell them what had happened. It was too painful, too terrifying, and I didn't want them to see me as weak or damaged. But slowly, over time, I started to heal. I began to realize that the creature was not a part of me, that I didn't need it to be happy or fulfilled. I started going back to school, reconnected with my friends, and even started dating again. It was like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders, and I was free to be myself once more. But the memories of the creature still haunted me, and I knew that I would never be able to forget what had happened. It was a part of me now, something that I would carry with me for the rest of my life. In a way, I was grateful for the experience. It had taught me to be strong, to be brave, and to never give up no matter how hopeless the situation might seem. And even though I knew that the creature was gone for good, a small part of me still wondered if it had really been defeated. Sometimes, late at night, I would hear a faint tapping at my window, and I would wonder if the creature had returned to claim me once again. But then I would remember all that I had been through, all that I had overcome, and I would feel a sense of pride and strength that I had never known before. In the end, I knew that I had won, and that nothing could ever take that away from me. I had faced my fears, confronted the monster within, and emerged victorious, stronger and more resilient than ever before.